Good afternoon. We're going to talk about the Republican COVID relief bill to include checks coming in session following months of procrastination. Republican leaders are finalizing a coronavirus relief package to be unveiled on Monday, according to the director of U.S. National Economic Council, Larry Kudlow. A $1,200 direct payment to most Americans is going to be a part of a new package. So, the proposed Republican relief bill will also provide laid off workers with up to 70% of their wages instead of 600 weekly federal unemployment benefit, which expires this weekend. Kudlow also said that the CARES Act eviction moratorium, which covers renters and buildings with federally backed mortgages, would be extended through. He did not state for how long. Excuse me. The bill will also include re-employment bonus, re-intention bonus, and tax credits to small businesses. Its total cost will reportedly come in around 1 trillion, roughly behalf of the CARES Act originally cost, which is on the target for the artificial limit that President Trump set earlier this month. So we're having another stimulus package coming out. People are actually still unemployed. A lot of people don't know how to fill out for PUA, and that's a big issue. So they should extend PUA, which is the Pandemic Unemployment Insurance program. They should extend it because a lot of people don't know how to fill it out or how to even get it. So unemployment is in double digits. Republican leadership has reluctantly delivered a second stimulus package to prop up the weekly income of 30 million Americans out of work because of the pandemic. Much of the hesitation, including a 2-month period of stalling instead of responding to House Democrats' $3 trillion heroes proposal, revolved around a 600 per week federal payment, which Mitch McConnell has called a bonus, not a go back to work. The Senate Majority Leader's comment may be missing the point that the popular stimulus benefit is a direct incentive for Americans in dangerous fields not to go back to work. So this is a second wave of stimulus checks. Um, there was basically some stalling between the Republicans and the Democrats. They finally hashed it out. And 23 million Americans are at risk of eviction by the end of September. And if it lasts, universal income payment was an indicator. The 1,200 check for most Americans will also encourage both spending and saving. Yes, save, spending and saving. So if you're getting a stimulus check or you've gotten one, the best bet is to save it, especially if you're unemployed. So everybody should be expecting a stimulus check coming in the couple of weeks. Let's see what else is going on in the news. Um, Civil rights icon John Lewis. So Lewis' body lies in the state in the Capitol Rotunda, making him the first black lawmaker to receive the honor. It was a moment not lost on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who referred to Lewis as a titan of the civil rights movement. Under the dome of the U.S. Capitol, we have bid farewell to some of the greatest Americans in our history, Pelosi said. It is fitting that John Lewis joined the pantheon of patriots resting upon the same of President Abraham Lincoln. He is the first black lawmaker to be honored or who body lies at the state capitol, Rotunda. Rotunda. John Lewis died, I think, a couple of days ago from cancer, and he was 80 years old. So John Lewis has passed away, honored in the Capitol Hill ceremony. Now let's talk Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Um, I was reading something on Media Takeout, and they were saying that Megan Thee Stallion broke up with Tory Lanez, and when they were in the car and she was trying to leave, that's when he shot her in the foot. That's what they said. I don't know how true that is, but Megan Thee Stallion is not cooperating with police at all. She said that there will be some justice, but not done by the police. So I guess it's going to be some type of street justice. And she said that she is no snitch. So Tory Lanez got a gun charge, but he would avoid a long sentence in jail if she would cooperate, but she's not. So they're saying that Megan Thee Stallion was the aggressor, but I don't know because he's 5'3", she's 5'9", so who knows who the aggressor was? But what I did find out is Tory Lanez is a Leo, and Megan Thee Stallion is a Aquarius. Aquarius and Leos do not mix together. You can look in astrology; they do not mix together. Bobby Brown was an Aquarius, and Whitney Houston was a Leo, and that did not go well at all. So we can see why Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez were in the kerfuffle they were in, because it's a personality thing. They don't get along. Leos and Aquariuses do not get along. Not at all. I mean, they have, it's opposites attract. They have some differences, but when they get into altercations, it's heated. It's heated. So that's what I got for the news today. these riots are still going on. Now, Christie says Americans do not think Portland, Seattle riots are acceptable. Trump has to deal with it. So, Chris Christie argued that most Americans do not think that the weeks-long riots rocking Portland and Seattle are acceptable, and said President Trump is right to step in if local officials don't address the issue. Most Americans, George, do not believe that the riots are in Portland and Seattle and other places across the country that are causing destruction and injury and in some cases death are acceptable. Christie told ABC George Stephanopoulos on This Week Sunday, U.S. Attorney for Oregon blessed Portland. He said, I do not think it's an effective thing to do, Christie, a Republican, said in regard to Trump taking action. Christie added that while progressives may not feel enthusiastic about a Biden presidency, the Trump base does feel enthusiastic about a second term. So they're enthusiastic about a second term, but their progressives are not enthusiastic about Biden. I don't know who is enthusiastic about Biden because I'm not at all enthusiastic about Biden. So he said that it's insulting to say that what's going on in Portland and Seattle is what America is supposed to look like, said Christie. It's further insulting to compare the peaceful protesters that we are locking arms with police in Camden to protest rightfully, police brutally, with the people who are throwing Molotov Molotov cocktails and destroying property in the Portland and Seattle. So there are riots still going on in Portland and Seattle, as we can see. And several people were killed in the city, waited weeks before disbanding the Capitol Hill organized protest zone, which protesters had occupied and refused access to police. Now, Trump said this Monday that federal officials were not involved in Seattle, but were on standby for a flare-up of unrest in the city. I guess people are just angry because of everything. The economy, everything. People are just upset. And I don't even really see the need to be upset, but I guess money could be the motivator for people being upset. Yeah, I can understand racial tension too, but it's not everywhere in all parts of America, from my view. So let's move on to, I think Black Lives Matter had something else going on. Um, so during the Austin protests, Black Lives Matter protesters approached a car um, with his rifle out, and during Austin protest march before being shot dead by the driver, who has been released from custody after pleading self-defense. So let's see what happened. Garrett Foster, 28, was shot dead during a Black Lives Matter protest in Austin, Texas on Saturday night. Fiancee Whitney Mitchell led hundreds of marchers and a vigil for Foster at the spot where he was killed. Austin police said that they interviewed the driver who had turned himself in after fleeing the scene on Sunday. The man claimed he fired his gun after Foster pointed his assault rifle at his car. Witnesses say Foster died trying to protect his wheelchair-bound fiancee after a car drove at them. So these protests are really turning violent. So the moment leading up to the fatal shooting of an armed Black Lives Matter protester in Texas over the weekend has been revealed in a newly resurfaced photograph hours after the suspect was released from custody, having told investigators he shot the demonstrator in self-defense. Garrett Foster, 28, was shot dead in Austin on Saturday evening after he confronted the driver of a car who had driven his vehicle towards a 100-strong crowd of protesters marching in the city center. Foster, who was carrying an AK-47, was shot 3 times by the driver, who then fled the scene. The motorist later told police he fired his handgun at Foster after the activist pointed his assault rifle at the car. Now, photographs circulating on social media on Monday shows Foster standing at the driver's window moments before the fatal shot rang out. So these protests are getting so out of hand. And there's a picture of the car, the people up on the car and stuff. So these protests are getting out of hand, really. It shows Garrett Foster at a driver window. The barrel of the rifle is pointed towards the ground while his right arm is high with his hand seemingly placed on the grip of the weapon. So there is a photo showing Garrett Foster at the driver window with his gun. So and there's a lot of pictures showing these Black Lives Matter protests, and some of them are peaceful. I don't know. I don't know where the violence is coming from. And his girlfriend is a black woman in a wheelchair. So I don't know, but it's crazy because they don't mind a group of people getting together, seeing there's a pandemic and a bunch of people are doing protests, and even though they're wearing masks, shouldn't they discourage a group of people getting together like that in a big group? It's awkward, but hey, these protests are just, there's some peaceful people and there's some people that are acting out of character. All right, let's see what else is in the news before I close out. Test. So, what could you do if you wanted to support Black Lives Matter and you don't want to get into all this violence? That's the issue. That's the issue. I prefer non-violence, but That's totally different. All right, so and in other Black Lives Matter news, so the Black Lives Matter mural painted outside Trump Tower vandalized for at least the fourth time. So the mural outside of Trump's Tower in Midtown Manhattan was vandalized again Sunday morning, according to the New York Police Department. This marks at least the fourth time the mural has been vandalized since it was created on July the 9th. A 32-year-old Rochester, New York resident allegedly approached the mural just after 10 a.m. Sunday, threw white paint over a portion of it, and smeared it with his hand. NYPD detective Carrie really said Mark David Hutt was arrested and charged with the criminal mischief and given a disappearance ticket. So all he got was a ticket for destroying a Black Lives Matter mirror. So that's what's going on in Black Lives Matter news. Let's see. So this is the last topic I'm going to hit. Megan Thee Stallion also says that she feels that black women are not protected. Um, and the shooting shows that the world still doesn't care about black women. That's what this article written by Teo Burrow. And basically, jokes were being cracked about Megan Thee Stallion. As I said before, Drea, she was saying that she wanted a guy to care about her so much to where if she tried to leave, she wanted him to shoot her in the foot. And she was getting dragged for that one line. And basically, Barrow is saying it has been an exhausting year for black women. From the murders of Breonna Taylor and activist Toyin Salute to the killing of black transgender women, we have had to watch the world fail us over and over again in real time, and now it's happening again with rapper Megan Thee Stallion. In early July, the Houston artist was reportedly shot in the foot following an argument with rapper Tory Lanez. Lanez was arrested the same night on a felony charge of carrying a gun. But this basically is article is saying that people are cracking jokes, 50 Cent cracking jokes about her getting shot in the foot. And basically, this article is saying that that's no laughing matter. Black women need to be supported much better than they are. And I have to say to that we have to pretty much support ourselves and worry about ourselves. It's good for us to be protected and things like that, but we also have to prevent ourselves from being in certain positions. So we got to also protect ourselves. So this is the news that I have going on over today. It's just quick synopsis of news of what's going on today. Stimulus check coming in, 12 directly towards Americans. Megan Thee Stallion not cooperating with police. Portland riots are getting out of hand according to Governor Christie. Black Lives Matter has been, their rallies have been kind of violent for the last couple of months. A child got killed. Now a man got killed for approaching a vehicle. And a Black Lives Matter mural was destroyed outside of Trump Tower for the 4th time. So that is the news for today. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, Salon B. Have a great day.